Rodgers turning heads, quickly impressing the Jets coaching staff. Head coach Robert Saleh tells reporters he has never, quote, been around a quarterback like that when it comes to how Rodgers' throws have been in practice. With a new quarterback under center, linebacker C.J. Mosley says he wants the Jets to have a target on their back. C.J. says, quote, we want people to give us everything they have. C.J., careful what you wish for. Shannon, do you like or do you have a problem with what everybody in Jets Nation is saying?
I want to just C.J. Mosley first. Skip, what the hell are you talking about? What target?
Maybe he's still at Alabama.
Bruh, y'all had won anything since Noah built the Ark was the last time y'all won something. What target? Y'all hadn't been to the playoffs and God knows when. What target do you have? What do you have, Jets? CJ, what have you won since you've been at the Jets that says there's a target on our back? The Chiefs have a target. The Nuggets will have a target. How do you get a target, Skip, when you ever won the playoffs? The last time they won the playoffs, I was in my damn near 30s. And he talking about they want a target. For what? You know what he said? You know what? The Jets got what we want. We want to miss the playoffs, too. We don't want to make the playoffs for 2 decades, too. Really, dude? Robert Saleh, back to you. Really? So you never been around a quarterback like that? He's one of the top 5 quarterbacks ever. Only a handful of coaches can say they've ever been around a quarterback like that. Bill Belichick, Coach Walsh. There's only a handful of them. So you're talking about a transcender. You're talking about a guy that's a top 5, no matter what you think of him as a person. As a quarterback, he's a top 5 quarterback, Skip. How many coaches have ever coached a top 5 quarterback? What you said, Robert Saleh, is not unique. So who has? Like I said, Coach Belichick said, hey, I coached one for 20 years. Coach Walsh could have said, I had Joe Montana for a decade. So for you to say, I've never been, really? Really? Andy Reid can say, I've been around one. Got Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Skip, I've never seen a team coach and player as a trickle-down effect. I don't like using the word trickle-down economics because, you know, sometimes politicians say, we're going to do this and it'll trickle down to you. And by the time it gets nothing, it ain't nothing but a drop. Why the Jets talking so much, Skip? What have they won? The last time they won a Super Bowl, we put man on the moon. One giant step. And they talking like they got, like they littered with Super Bowls. Like they littered. Man, they get on my nerves. I'm already sick of the Jets.
By the way, the Super Bowl they won, they were 18-point underdogs. Nobody gave them a shot, and they pulled off the upset of the century, if not the history of the world, right? Isn't it the biggest upset ever?
Yes, in playoff, yes.
Yeah, okay. All I asked Robert Saleh to do is before you go completely over the top about Aaron Rodgers, go look at his numbers that he posted last year for Green Bay and tell me they're top 5-y. I got your premise. I get it. But tell me those numbers are top 5-y. Go back and look at his last 2 playoff performances, if not the final game of last regular season, which was basically a playoff for the playoffs. Go back and look at those 3 home performances on the frozen tundra in January. Go back and look at all 3 of them. NFC Championship game, the first he had ever played on his home turf. Go back and look at the divisional round game, the first playoff game. They had the 1 seed again. That's against Jimmy G and the 49ers. Go look at his numbers. Go look at what he did against his division rival, Detroit, the perennial doormat of their division that he had owned just the way he's owned the Bears. And go look at what he did at home against those Lions, up-and-coming Lions. Go back and look at all that, and then tell me you're in awe of what what you're working with now. He's going on and on. I've never seen anything like this throw. And then once I said, no, he's covered. But Aaron said, no, did you see the DB's eyes? I saw he wasn't looking, so he's actually open. And Saleh's saying, I've never been around any human like this. I can't believe this. And then he raved about his leadership. He's very thoughtful and deliberate in the way he goes about things. Ask Green Bay, they're laughing right now at these quotes. They are. They're hooting and hollering in their locker room. Seriously? And then here's the next one from Saleh. At the end of the day, Aaron still wants to be coached. They're laughing out loud in Green Bay. They're laughing so loudly you can hear it in Los Angeles from Green Bay. He wants to be coached. Seriously? What are you talking about?
Right.
It's because they were a quarterback away and they got, in their eyes, the quarterback. But they're thinking about the blast from the past. They're thinking about what Aaron used to be, and I'm just not sure he's got that in him anymore as he gets up in his years.
Consider he's thought of as the equivalent to or close to Brady and Manning, quarterbacks that left their established locations, moved elsewhere and won a championship.
Okay.
That's what's going to... Anything less than that is a failure.
It is. I agree.
It's really that simple. And they keep... C.J. Mosley, you keep talking about... In the stands, they don't say Jets, they say MESS, mess. Because that's what you've been for the better part of a decade.
Yeah.
And you talking about you want a target on your back? For what? What is the bullseye? So if I hit that target, what's the bullseye, Skip? If I beat the Jets, what do I get? What's the prize?
Hey, my Cowboys have a bigger target on them just because they're America's team and they've won nothing in
but Skip, at
28 years.
At least you can say, you know what, we want a division title. Even though that's not how you, when you're the Cowboys, that's not how you judge. The Jets would take a winning record. How about be 9-8? Let's start with a winning record.
They would. Yeah.
You talk about a target. For what?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say it again. Good luck to Aaron Rodgers. Be careful what you wish for getting out of Green Bay, out from under, because you are now the center of the NFL universe. All eyes are on the Jets. So enjoy going to your Taylor Swift concert. Enjoy going to the Tonys. Enjoy going to all the games, the Knicks and the hockey games, all that he's been to.
Yeah.
Hey, it's coming. It's coming.
Between me and you, they the other end. Not the eye, they the other end on the bull. That's what they are.
Well, that's what they have been. And let's see if he can change that. I don't think he can.
That New York media is going to be a wake-up call, that's for sure. They better come out swinging in that Hall of Fame game. All right, guys. Let's get back to the NBA playoffs and last night. You think the Heat gave away the game? We got Eddie House rolling with us coming up next to give us some insight. We're breaking it all down coming up after this break. Butler sat down with NBA TV and he was asked about the potential of him making the Basketball Hall of Fame. And my goodness, his answer is gaining a lot of attention. Check it out.
If we're being brutally honest, if I was selected to the Hall of Fame, I'm not going.
You're not going to accept it?
No, I'm not going. Like, it's like the festivities and all of that. It's an individual thing, you know? I'm not for the individual type stuff. I'm really not. I'm like a team guy.
But even after it's all said and done and you've done...
No, I don't want to go. I'm not worried about the Hall of Fame, so I promise you. It's an honor, it is, but...
Great interview by Jared Greenberg. Jimmy, I don't know, that might be a mistake to skip that. Shannon, do you like or do you have a problem with what Jimmy Butler said?
I hate everything he said. I have a big problem with it. Skip, I get it. You're in the middle of the NBA Finals. You can say, I'm really not thinking about the Hall of Fame right now. The most important thing with me is to find a way to win one game in Denver to try to get it back to Miami. But to be this openly and blatantly disrespectful of what we call heaven. It's sports heaven. Skip, give me just a second. I want to Skip, I remember when I got the call that I made it to the Hall of Fame, I picked up the phone and called my grandmother. She was she was dying. She would die a couple of months later. I said, Grand, I made it to the Hall of Fame. She said, baby, what's that? I say, that's where all the really good, great football players go when they retire. She said, oh, baby, that's so good. I sure hope I'm around to see it. The Hall of Fame in any particular sport is football heaven in football. It's basketball heaven in basketball. It's baseball heaven in Cooperstown. That's the heaven. That's the ultimate validation. Jimmy Butler, it's not like hockey. The great Gretzky, he retired, they put him in the Hall of Fame right away. In other sports, you've got to wait 5 years. So you mean to tell me in 5 years you can't find Bali, the Maldives, wherever you want to go and put your toes in the sand? You that disrespectful to me. I don't like the festivities. Skip it. Did you know Jimmy Butler has been to 6 All-Star games? How many times did he turn them down? Did he take his teammates?
No.
See, that sounds good. See, this is what turned people off about athletes. Because the arrogance and the pompousness of this joker. To have the nerve to say you should fall on your knees and thank God that 50, 60 men and women said, you know what, Jimmy Butler is worthy of basketball heaven. Skip, this is blatantly disrespectful. He talking like he one of the historically all-time greats, like he's transcended. I can see if they wronged him in some way, in some manner. What has the NBA done to him besides making him more wealthy than his wildest dreams? Everything that he's got come courtesy of the NBA. I'm not saying that he didn't work hard. I'm not saying that he didn't deserve it, because he deserves everything that he got coming to him.
Yep.
But for him to say this, Skip, he has to miss me with all of this.
Quick aside, after the last 10 games, does he even belong in the Hall of Fame? When I brought this up, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, I see right now. I said no.
You were shocked I brought up the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the context was, and you shocked me by saying he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And I told you, well, it seems like everybody gets in the Basketball Hall of Fame, not the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but the basketball. And now you're like, well, wait a second.
Yeah. He's talking about he a slam dunk. Like he LeBron, like he got like 17, like he got like 8, 19 first team All NBAs, like 3 or 4 MVPs, a couple of Finals MVPs, led the league in scoring, the DPOY.
As I always tell you about the Pro Football Hall of Fame, if I have to think twice about you,